Wha- What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 5, Episode 10, you guys. The episode is titled Preaching to the Liar, you guys. So, before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and aren't subscribed, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know you can do me that favor by giving me a big, huge thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also sharing the video. And with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, shall we? All right, you guys, so this video is late because I didn't watch it last night because I actually went to the movies last night to see Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Really, really good movie. You guys can, I will do a spoiler-free review. I would just talk about the movie, my thoughts and opinions on it, and you guys can follow my other channel, Jbsayzwhat. So once I do that video, I'll upload it and I'll share it over here on the community tab so you guys can go and check it out. So Love and Marriage Huntsville, we pick up where we left off in last week's episode, which was with Destiny and Melody talking about, at Stormy's house, and what was said, what was heard, and what was meant, right? So you guys remember that Melody was talking about the fact that when she showed up to Madani, that she did speak to Destiny, right? And Stormy says, well, now that you know that she did speak to you, does that change anything? And Destiny says no. And honestly, I don't blame Destiny, right? So what that Mel spoke, it still doesn't change the chain of events that happened afterwards, right? Did Destiny go to the door and scream at, tell Melody, next time you come to someone's establishment, speak? Yes. But then we also had the fallout with Miss Wanda, Miss Wanda, Martell, and all of them, right? So, yeah, it doesn't change anything, right? So Destiny says that, Melody wasn't audible enough, which I will give Destiny that one point. When Melody came in, she wasn't very audible. She was so low that you really couldn't hear her say it. It's kind of like how when you see somebody, you be like, oh, I don't like this bitch. You see how I did it? I don't like this bitch, right? You mumble. It's kind of like you mumble it under your breath. So, Destiny asked Kimmy, did you hear Melody speak? And she said, yeah. She said, hey, to me and to you, which, correct. Melody did speak, right? But as Destiny said, it wasn't audible enough. And they also do bring up the fact that with Destiny, like, girl, you also were a little upset. She's like, yeah, I was, but I didn't act like it. And even Tisha had to say, you didn't act like it, but the way that you was, your face said everything. And I was like, exactly. If you guys go back to my review, I said it in my review that night that Destiny's demeanor just spoke volumes, like. And that's what I think sometimes people forget. And I'm one of those people, right? I wear my emotion, not my emotions, but my facial expressions, they give you what I'm thinking and feeling sometimes. Now, I know I do also have a little bit of a resting bitch face, but if you piss me off, the quickest, the eyebrows. When you piss me off, my eyebrows, they are raised. My eyebrows, they look like that. Like when you piss me, like when you, like my eyebrows are very expressive, especially when I'm pissed. My eyebrows are raised, and sometimes there are times that I can just have a stone face, but if it's like really something that's got under my skin, my face you can just read it all over my face, right? So they ended the party, Stormy gave them some Canvas Beauty stuff, and then after they left, Kimmy and Melody walked out together. So Melody was trying to check on Kimmy. It's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm okay. She's like, if anything is going on, you want to talk about it? And Kimmy's like, right now, no, I don't want to talk about it, right? So then we see Marceau and Letitia. He's setting up for a date night. I just couldn't, if I was a woman, I just could not be married to any of those damn Scott brothers. I'm sorry. They just all give caveman, Jane and Tarzan type shit, right? So Marceau has set up for a date night for him and Letitia. He says the kids are gone, but he doesn't know where the kids are gone to. That's Letitia's thing. I was like, oh my God. But she puts up with it, so she likes it. Hell, I love it, right? So then she comes, oh, babe, this is pretty. So what is this for? What's the cause of this? Was it because of the couples date? Girl, shut up. I be wanting Tisha to shut up sometimes. Because then Marceau says, if she feels like something's wrong, although he doesn't see something wrong, I'm like, so you don't see anything, you don't see, and that's a problem in itself, right? No relationship, no marriage, no nothing is perfect, right? So you can't feel like you're doing everything 100% right all the time. There's always going to be a margin of error. There's always going to be room for improvement. And I don't know if Marceau doesn't see that or if Marceau just doesn't give a damn. That's kind of like what it's given, right? So he's talking about, the couples trip, right? And he's talking about how hard Dr. Francis came down on Lewis. Well, I think that Dr. Francis did. He talked to what's her name? What is her name? Tiffany as well. But so Marceau's whole thing is he feels like Dr. Francis is biased, and more so that he's biased towards men. Say what? And I hate when some men do this. Not all, but I hate when some men do this. It's that chauvinistic asshole side of men, right? It's the chauvinist, it's the misogynist, it's all of those type of personalities that don't like it when another man calls them out on the BS that they're exhibiting and exuding. And that's where Marceau is. Because then he's talking about, she's like, well, I'll find somebody different for us to go to. Girl, what? Dr. Francis is fine. What Marceau wants is for somebody to go along with what he says and make everything your fault. And I don't know how you don't see that. He wants someone to agree with the shit that he does. He doesn't want somebody to call out what they see, what their perceptions are. He wants somebody that is biased. Talking about Dr. Francis is biased. No, he's not biased. He's very unbiased. Because and with Dr. Francis can only go off of what he is seeing in the moment. Now, let's just pretend like he doesn't watch the show. With a therapist, they go off of what you're telling them. They listen to you, and they give you advice on what both parties are saying. But like I said, Marceau doesn't want to hear that, and it just wouldn't be for me. So he also feels like with Dr. Francis that he doesn't want to take advice from someone who thinks that they're perfect or something like that. Marceau, that's you egomaniac. I don't know how Letitia puts up with it, but hey, it is what it is. Just wouldn't be for me. Let's pause here and let's move forward, you guys. All right, guys, so this next scene, it was Kimmy and Maurice, and it really wasn't a lot in this scene. It was just them, driving so that Kimmy can get the biopsy. You guys remember in last week's episode that Kimmy said that she found a lump in her breast and she found one in her lymph node. So they are going to go get a biopsy. Ooh, my mom had to get a biopsy done like in 2016, I believe it was. And I don't know what Kimmy's going through in this particular moment because I don't know. Well, how about to say I don't know nobody that has breast cancer, but I do. My cousin had breast cancer, but she would just fill us in on the thing. So I don't have anybody that's like super duper immediate to me that's had breast cancer that I've lived through. I know my mom did have I know my mom had cancer, but this was years before I was born, and they got that cancer, and my mom was in remission up until she passed away. Now, my grandmother, she did have cancer, and for my grandmother and my uncle that passed away, for them, the cancer, with my uncle, the cancer was found way too late. It was way too late when they found it. But even when they told us about him having cancer, my uncle wanted to fight, And he did, but only thing that cancer was the only thing that the treatments were doing, because he went through, radiation, he went through chemo and all that stuff, and it was just really just slowly, you know, eating away at his body, because there was nothing that could be done. There was no surgery that could be done because it was, very far advanced. And with my grandmother, her cancer, they didn't catch it super early, but they caught it in enough time where she could have lived a longer life. The only thing was, my grandmother was a woman of a certain age, and they wanted her to lose a bit of weight before, because they wanted to do surgery on her, and they wanted her to lose some weight before she could do it, but she unfortunately succumbed to the cancer. So now I do remember I did take her to her appointments for the biopsy, but honestly, I had no idea what I was taking to an appointment for. She didn't tell me. She didn't tell me until after. My grandmother didn't tell me until she actually told the whole family. That was when I found out, because I didn't know what she was going to. Because at a certain point in time, because she would go for her, her 6 months checkups, but at this particular point, and it was 2012, I'll never forget it. She would call me to take her to the doctor, and she was going pretty regularly. I'm like, why is she going to the doctor so regularly? And that's when we found out. So Kimmy and Maurice are going to go get the biopsy. So then we move over and we see this scene with Destiny. So Destiny is doing a photo shoot for her single. Child, I had no idea Destiny had a single. Is it good? No shade. I haven't heard it, so I can't say anything negative or positive about her photo. I mean, about her single. I just haven't heard it. I didn't even know she had a single. I didn't even know she sang. Congratulations to you. If it's, is it on the chart? That was shady. And I didn't mean for that to be shady. That was shady. Super shady. So yeah, she's doing a photo shoot. She called Mel down. So she and Mel were quite civil, and they had fun with each other when she first got there. But then we found out that Mel recorded a video. She didn't post it because of the situation that happened at Madani. They kind of got off track for just a brief second, but they finally found their way back, because I was like, oh my God, because they were talking about the text messages between Mel and Destiny. They were talking about the situation that happened last season when Destiny felt that Mel was, taking business away from her. Now, y'all know me, I don't keep up with what happens in the day-to-day lives of these people in Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't report on the news because I don't keep up with the news. Once I do these reviews of Love and Marriage Huntsville, that's where it ends. Now, if somebody shoots me something in my DM, I will take a look at it, but 9 times out of 10, I don't care. That's the easiest thing that I can say. I do not give a damn. So honestly, with this whole situation with Mel and Destiny, they say that they're gonna be cool and cordial with each other, right? But I'm just wondering, how long is this gonna last? Who's gonna start it first, right? And oops, I know how y'all millimeters feel about Mel, and I'm not saying anything negative about Mel, but that little brief clip that we saw of next week's episode where she was talking to Stormy and Tiffany, it be the faces she makes. It's like, you can say, here's my thing. You can say, me and Destiny, we sat down, we had a conversation, and then when Tiffany says, are y'all friends? You could just say, we're not, we sat down, we cool, we're gonna be cordial with each other. And then when somebody say, are y'all gonna be friends? You can say, for right now, I don't see us being friends, but I don't know what the future holds. Anything, I'm not gonna say never, as the age old saying goes, never say never. So I would just be like, I can't predict the future. So if me and her aren't able to get back to being friends again, we shall see. But as of right now, we're just gonna be in a good space with each other. We're gonna be cordial with each other. She's not gonna talk about me. I'm not gonna talk about her negatively, and we're gonna be fine. That's all that has to be said. Period. Point blank. That's all that you gotta say. But Mel makes the faces. But Destiny's also passive. I mean, and I can sit here and say that Mel is passive aggressive. So is Destiny. They're both the same. Because when we saw the scene with Destiny talking to her cousin about it, I'm like, even the cousin, like, girl, you still upset about it. She is, and I want Destiny to let the shit go. Just, girl, let it go. All right, you guys. Oh, I forgot to mention. So, I'm gonna pause here and I'm gonna move forward. So I did forget to mention earlier when Marceau and Letitia were having date night that she told Marceau that she's going to be having a period party for their daughters Macy and Mila because Macy, I think it's Macy, she's 10 years old. So she's around that age where young girls, start their cycles, right? And I actually like the idea of this, period party. I actually, she said it should, girls only, right? No guys allowed. Honestly, because even Letitia kept saying in this episode where there are some men that are single fathers, and they have girls, and they have to go to the store, and they have to buy the hygiene, the feminine hygiene products, right? And I've done it myself. I've had to buy feminine hygiene products. I've done it for Uber. I've done it for my mother when she, there were times when my mom said, she would tell me, Jerome, I need you to go and get me something. I'm like, get you what? I will never forget the first time my mama called me and said, Jerome, I need some pads. I was like, you need some what? Some who? What's the, I was like, Mama, no, please don't ask me to do that. I was like, no. She was like, Jerome, I need them. I was like, Geraldine, I'm not buying them. She's like, Jerome, I need them. I was like, Geraldine, I am not going down the aisle to get no damn pads. But I ended up doing it, right? I ended up doing it. I was like, oh my God, you really asked me, your teenage son, to go buy you some pads. And I was like, lady, why can't you go do it? She's like, well, you were already out, so you could just do it for me. Ma'am, you drive my car just as much as I do. But, so yeah, I think it would have been good, but when you got somebody like Marceau, it wasn't going to happen. So it ain't no point in talking about it, right? Now, I will say I did love this. I like the idea of the period party, right? Because, I remember back when I was in high school and, it would be it would I know some girls at that time would be embarrassed, especially when it happens and they're at school and they're like, oh no, like it actually happened to it. I'm not gonna put the story out there, but it happened to one of my friends, and she told me she was like she told me because I remember I had a my Letterman jacket. She was like, Gerald, can I use your Letterman jacket? I was like, what's up? She's like, my cycle started. I'm like, oh, here, take it. Go to the bathroom. And so she went to the bathroom and she did what she needed to do. I'm like, girl, take it. I don't give a damn. It ain't that big of it's human nature. I understand. Take my jacket and you good, right? So I I think it would have been good for some of the guys to come so that way, because I mean I know I know some a teenage girl, I know she doesn't necessarily want to talk to her dad about her period, right? But like Marcel was like, I think it could help I think it could help in any situation, right? Like let's just say the worst case scenario happens with the mother. You then know how to relate to and talk to your daughter. So that way she doesn't feel embarrassed about things, and whatnot. So yeah. Yeah. So it's all right. It is what it is, right? But so they're doing the party, right? And Maurice shows up. So Maurice came and he got Letitia and told Letitia that they needed to talk. So she went outside and Kimmy came up, and you guys, when I tell you that I broke down and cried, I broke down and cried because Kimmy came and told Letitia that she had found some lumps in her breast and her lymph node. They did MRI, they did the biopsy, they did everything, and on June 22nd, 2022, she got the phone call that she does have breast cancer. She told what kind of breast cancer it is. She's in stage 2, So she caught it early, and I'm really happy about that she caught it early. And you know, Kimmy, you got my prayers are with you so strong and so heavy. You got this. You're gonna beat this. Cancer's not gonna get you. You're gonna beat it. And wow, you guys, cancer. You just hate to hear that word. You just hate to hear the word cancer. But yeah, Kimmy, prayers, thoughts, well wishes, love and light, sending them your way. God ultimately has the final say in this situation. And you're gonna come out on it's bleak and scary now, but look at it as this way. This may have helped someone else who may be in a similar situation, right? This may help someone who, they were doing they were feeling and they felt something. And that's typically sometimes what happens. People will just, kind of just brush it off and be like, oh, it ain't that deep, right? But I'm glad that Kimmy has talked about this and brought light to it, especially as a Black woman. So, like I said, once again, prayers up to Kimmy, sending you love and light, Kimmy. So, you guys, that is the episode. Be sure to let me know what you guys thought about the episode in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.